I'm ready now to fill and crumb coat my cake. So I have my damp paper towel here. This is going to prevent my cake board from moving around. And I have a 6-inch cake, so I'm using a 8-inch cake board. This cake board actually has a bit of like a shiny coating on it, which is going to be really helpful. It's so nice. It protects against the fat and grease that can seep into just a standard cardboard cake board, and it, especially with a blue buttercream like we're working with right now, that's really gonna give us an extra hand. I have my dirty bowl of frosting here, so this is the one that it's gonna be okay if I get some crumbs in. I'm gonna just put a little dollop of that on the board. My board is centered within my turntable, and my cake board is centered, my cake board is centered in my turntable, and my cake is centered on my cake board. Okay, so now that I am have my first layer here, I'm ready for my filling. Remember, you're working in between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock. I'm using an offset spatula, but you can definitely use a flat spatula if that's what you have. And we're just pushing and pulling that back. Working around the outside edge, the center of the cake will naturally fill in. And our ideal thickness again is no more than 1/4 inch of frosting. 1/8 of an inch is fine. I'm going to hold my spatula here at 10 o'clock, slight angle on the spatula, and I'm just going to hold that spatula level while I turn the turntable to get this filling layer leveled. Okay. I'm just going to clean up these sides a touch so that I can actually find that reference point that I marked. You can just give these a little fold over there. Okay. Now I'll find my reference point. Just gently with your fingers pulling the cake in opposite directions, and then that cut should open up. There it is right there. Line that up side to side, just nice and gentle, and then give this a turn. Make sure that all of your sides are lined up all the way around. Once that's good, then just give that just a little press to help those grab together. And now I'll continue with my other layers. Okay, I have my final layer on, so I'm going to check one last time to make sure that this is nice and level. Put it up just a little bit now that it's higher. So getting down on eye level and then just shaving away any excess. It's the great thing about a cold cake. Nice and firm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have any crumbs on the board are away, just so I'm not contaminating my crumb frosting any more than I need to. And my crumb coat, remember our total thickness that we would want to have for our frosting is 1/4 of an inch maximum, so I'm aiming for about 1/8 of an inch on my crumb coat. I'm going to start out just like I did for my filling layers, and I'm looking for a little bit of that overhang of my frosting. That's gonna make it a lot easier to get my edges to stand up and to get that nice square corner edge all around. Let this spin and then lift up and away. And then I'm going to come over here on my 9 o'clock side, starting at the top, pressing that in, pushing down, and now I'm just spreading this forward and back. And remember, it's totally fine if you're seeing a little bit of cake showing through your crumb coat layer. Our purpose of the crumb coat is just to seal in the crumbs and to create a really nice smooth surface for that final coat to go on. So I'm building up this sort of dam around the sides. That's going to make it so I have something to fold over. Just making sure I see that all the way around. I'm a little low right here, so I'm going to just bring a little up at the top. And now I'm just going to hold my spatula here at the 9 o'clock position. Slight angle, just so I can smooth all that frosting. Okay. And now I'm going to fold over my edges, so I'm going to work right here in front of me at the 6 o'clock position. Slight angle on the spatula, and just pull that no more than a third of the way in so you don't disturb too many edges. Clean spatula every time so you don't deposit frosting back on this lower edge. And of course, I wish I had gloves right now, but we still can't get them. So leave them for the people that need them more than those of us decorating cakes. Okay, I'm going to clean off my board. That away. And then for just that extra measure, I'm going to take, I have a damp towel here, or you can use a damp paper towel and just clean off any frosting that's hanging around on the edge of the board. This is going to give us a nice clean surface to start with when we come back for our final coat. I'm going to let this chill until it's completely set that I can touch the frosting and not leave a fingerprint. This should get you about 10 minutes in the freezer or 30 minutes in the refrigerator. Remember, it is a little easier to frost if this is coming out of the refrigerator. You don't get quite as an extreme of a temperature change when you bring it out. When you have those big temperature changes, the cake will actually sweat, and you'll get a little layer of moisture if you're not moving quickly enough coming back with that final coat. So as long as you have time, I would go ahead and give yourself a half an hour in the refrigerator. It'll also help those internal layers set up a little bit more. I'm going to clean up my space so I have absolutely no crumbs anywhere, and I'm going to get myself a clean bowl of frosting ready to go.